Why can I hear the light? It's okay, we've been here before. Carry on the light, they won't know it hurts more. It's okay, we've been here before. Carry on the light, they won't know it is It's okay, we've been here before. Carry on the light, they won't know it hurts more.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HP Podcast, episode number 299. You heard that right. Episode number 299. I'm Ben, and with me here today are the beautiful boys. Brandon, hello.
What's up?
I just want to clarify, you're not both of the beautiful boys. You're a beautiful boy, and I addressed you first.
I am one half of the beautiful boys. Well, one third.
Whoa.
Whoa.
What's-
Based off
Was
of
that
your
Freudian?
introduction only.
Was that
Based off of
Freudian?
your introduction only, Ben. One of the two. Oh my god. What have
You've
I
done
done?
this. What have you done?
What
You've
have
done
I
this
done?
to yourself.
Hello, gentlemen. Either that or I was referring to you two as the beautiful... No, wait, because I said I was one half. Fuck, I can't talk my way out of this. I cannot backpedal.
Yeah, you're done. You're done.
Okay. All right. Well,
You-
good evening.
You've had a good run. It's over. I don't know. I'm not the boss of this podcast, but I've just decided you are done.
All right. You know, that's fair. That's fair. Good evening, gentlemen. Yeah, good evening. I dropped my car off for inspection tonight, and I'm a little
That's
bit worried.
scary.
My car is getting to the point. I don't know how it works in Canada, Dave, but in our state we have state inspections. In the shitty state next to us, you don't got to do that shit ever. Ohio.
You don't have to do it in most states. It's not just Ohio, by the
Dude,
way.
which is so great because every year, especially for me having an incredibly old car, I think my Subaru has about 143,000 miles on it now. I've done pretty well. Last year, I put a little bit of money into it. This year, I'm thinking is going to be the year when I have to put an exceptional amount of money into it. In addition to that, it is time for tires. So I'm looking at a big payout this time around. I'm like almost wincing until I get the phone call tomorrow to see how much the damage is. So yeah, I just did that after work, and Yeah, I might have to total it. Who knows? Wrap it around a pole. I don't know.
Track it. Take it to the track for a day.
How are you getting to work tomorrow, though?
Actually, my mom's gonna drive me to work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That works out well.
Yeah. I hate asking her to do that. I was originally supposed to borrow my car, or borrow her car, but my brother's also borrowing her car. We weirdly had like both of our cars in the shop at the same time when they weren't supposed to be because his took too long. So, yeah, I'm just thankful to get to work. I don't really care how it is, but
Sure. Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be a lot. Now I know the car can go for a lot longer, but it's gonna be expensive, is what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
an app called Uber, by the way, Radek. You must live in a larger town than we do, because Ubering to work sounds like I'm losing money. That's what that sounds like.
Well, you're losing money no matter where you are, but I think it's just that Uber's pretty good here actually now, but it just depends on it's not plentiful like it is in real cities. It's not plentiful.
I just write up an invoice and give it to my company. I'm like,
Yeah. Give it to your
Business
insurance
sense.
company.
Yeah.
Be like,
Yeah,
I decided not to rent a car that you would have covered.
it
Dave.
actually saved you money.
Yeah. Dave, greetings. Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. Do you have any interesting things to say, Dave?
Not usually, but we
False.
have to. Yesterday was Thanksgiving. So we
Canadian
have to have our
Thanksgiving.
annual argument about this, about
wow.
when is the correct time to have Thanksgiving, because you guys have it in about 6 weeks. So I think it's way too close to Christmas. But
I agree.
this was the first Thanksgiving that I can remember where I didn't actually celebrate. I didn't go to work yesterday. I guess that's celebrating, but I didn't have a turkey dinner with family just because we had a wedding on Friday and a bunch of crazy stuff. So it was, the rest of the weekend was kind of chill, but it was really weird because, I had that subconscious craving for turkey and stuffing and cranberries, and I didn't get it. So
Wow.
it was a weird Thanksgiving, that's for sure.
So what do you have to be thankful for up there?
Up here, I don't know. Yeah.
Not as you as Dave, but as you as a Canadian.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
you don't
free
have-
healthcare is the low-hanging fruit, but it's kind of trash, so it's not even really worth it.
Yeah, but you don't have Bald Eagle Screech and a Hulk Hogan brother, and you don't have any of that.
Yeah.
You don't have two completely. I'm gonna stop there,
Yeah, people
I'll
on the
stop it.
streets don't have guns with them though, so I'm pretty thankful for that.
Dude. Why?
Generally speaking, some
come
people
on.
do, but
You
Yeah.
too could have a gun. That's the fun
I
part.
carry a
though.
gun most places I go, and I've never had anybody have a problem with it. I don't know.
okay, well that's cool, but it's
See, because it's like everyone has one, but so can you. It's like
Right.
shoes. Like you don't
Yeah.
need to have shoes, but when you see someone with shoes, you're like, oh, I'm glad I have shoes.
I'm thankful
like-
I don't feel the need to have one. So yeah, and I can
No.
go to the hospital for free. So
That is
But
actually.
they
You
might
guys
tell
don't
you
need
you
it.
have to come back in a couple months.
you guys just don't know what that's like. So
No.
We do
Mine's-
have insurance, though.
yeah, but not
Yeah.
everybody does.
Oh, Dave, you want to hear some bullshit that I just realized was a thing? So, I knew you can get two insurances, right? But, there's an insurance that you can buy, and I can't believe I'm just figuring this out at 30. There's an insurance you could buy that's like, hey, it's essentially double insurance. So, what your other insurance can't pay for, we're just going to give you money. So, I need insurance for the insurance in America, actually, because it's not enough. One insurance isn't enough. I have to be paying two people just in case I'm dying instead of just one.
Yeah,
but you
the
can
whole
lose your
insurance-
insurance, or maybe you can't afford that. Those are things that don't go away in Canada. So that's
Right.
there's lots of other things now to think about, and I'm thankful for Carly Rae Jepsen. I know she's well respected on this show. I'm
guess.
thankful for Ryan Reynolds,
That is nice.
Letterkenny, and Shorzy. Hockey in general, is
Dude,
pretty
Trailer
great.
Park Boys, I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Studio MDHR or whatever it's called, creators of Cuphead, are Canadian.
All right.
Guys, I don't mean to interrupt. I have a hole in this bottle of water that I'm drinking. It's just getting all over my desk, so I'm just going to chug it. I'm just going to
Chug,
finish the
chug.
bottle.
See,
I might have to pee in 20 minutes. We'll see.
that's all right. I guess you do have at least one or two things to be thankful, but I'm not going to indulge. This is an American podcast.
Is it?
First and foremost, we have 2/3
I don't
American on
remember
this
that
podcast.
being
We have
determined.
2/3. We have 2/3 American. We have a majority stake in the
Okay, by
podcast.
majority. Fair enough. I respect democracy, so
I will say
do
this
you?
about the healthcare conversation. I think some places have healthcare better and some places have it worse, and there's obviously downsides to all of them. But I just don't know if there's any good healthcare anywhere, because you say that Canadian healthcare is lackluster. Our healthcare is certainly lackluster. My buddy Lockmort, who lives in Belgium, says their healthcare is lackluster and like doesn't always meet the needs he needs them to meet, and not all of it's free. Is there a such thing as good healthcare anywhere?
Cuba's pretty good, apparently.
Apparently, if you can stay alive long enough
Yeah.
to get to the doctor, yeah, it's probably
Turkey? I hear good things about Turkey.
Never
I think
heard about
the point
Turkey.
is wherever you are, you're always focused on things you don't have. And Thanksgiving is a good time of year to look at the things you do have and appreciate them. So
Wow.
Yeah, that's fair.
tie a little bow on that conversation.
Now I'm kind of thankful I don't have health care. Wow.
You do have healthcare.
It worked. I'm Canadian now. Is that how? I don't know.
Sorry.
Sorry.
You do have healthcare. I'm the one who doesn't have healthcare between the three of us.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Screw you guys. Hey, this is the HP podcast. We talk about video games and Canadian healthcare. And we get together every Tuesday night, normally, and I'll get to this in a second, normally at 7 p.m. Eastern Time here on Ben is Handsome and also on the Handsome Phantom YouTube channels. The show goes live every Thursdays for free feeds. The show goes live every Wednesday for patrons who sign up on our Patreon at patreon.com/handsomephantom. And if you want to help us out there, you can do so for as little as $1 a month. That's less than 25 cents an episode most months. So we appreciate you hanging out there with us. Also, if you want to hang out with us even more, you can do so at handsomephantom.com/discord. Join the beautiful boys and girls there talking as well. I mentioned a second ago, usually we're here at 7. Next week is episode 300. The date that was foretold many moons ago by Dave. And I don't know what that means. We have at least one special guest, a possibility of more than one, but we are rearranging the time a little bit for them to be able to make it. So it'll be an hour later than normal. So 8 p.m. Eastern time next Tuesday, the 22nd, for episode 300. And we haven't really talked about anything about that episode except for, we're going to have this person on and maybe another person as well. But so it might just be a regular episode. I don't know. But either way, it's going to be hype, and it's going to be an hour later than normal, and you should be here.
Could go
live.
long, too.
It could go long. You never
There
know.
may or may not be a resurrection.
No,
Come on, man.
you never know. You don't. You couldn't just keep it under your hat. You had to say it out loud, live
It's not wearing a
on
hat.
television.
You're wearing a hat.
You couldn't just keep it under my hat.
Jesus Christ himself. we managed to swing him.
Alex says Hulk Hogan is tuning in. Hulk Hogan's usually here in chat, but he won't be. Edward Walton wants to know, will there be drinks?
That could be fun.
It's BYOB, but yes, there will be.
That could be fun. That could be fun.
There will be drinks.
We should pop something.
Pop a perk? Perk 30 for the
Champagne,
boys?
like we won the championship game.
Oh,
I'm
Got
gonna
on a
I'm gonna buy a can of Zens and pop like 6 of them at once during the show. I think
I was
that would
thinking
be.
about doing meth.
That's a little more extreme than I had in mind. But whatever you're into.
300, baby.
300. Time to end my life.
Live on air.
Not end my life. Just ruin my life.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to be the resurrection because mid-episode, I'm going to die. And then I'm going to have somebody with paddles on deck to just like bring me back, just like in Battlefield.
We're like 4 feet away.
Yeah. Oh man. So anyway, yeah. Next week, Tuesday the 22nd, live. We'd really appreciate it if you guys are all here live. That'd be great. If not, it's fine. We understand. But 8 p.m. Eastern. I think the link to the show, if you're an audio listener, the link to the YouTube channel is in the description. If not, you'll figure it out. I have faith in you.
Bring your own ketamine.
Good Lord.
Damn.
Let's talk about Pokemon or something. something more profane, I suppose. A massive leak has hit. I can't even go on. A massive data leak has hit Pokemon developer Game Freak. Now, guys, some of the stuff we may hear and talk about with Game Freak, you should have known, all right, because their name is Game Freak. They're freaks, okay? A massive data leak has hit none other than beloved Pokemon developer Game Freak, according to RealEntertainment.eu. Yes, you heard that right. The company behind iconic Pokemon games has fallen victim to a major security breach, and the repercussions are nothing short of alarming. First and foremost, let's talk about the employees' personal information that's been compromised. Names, addresses, phone numbers, and even social security numbers of Game Freak employees have been exposed, putting their privacy and security at risk. This is not only a violation of their personal rights, but also a serious breach of trust on the part of the company. I guess they were not encoded correctly. The data leak also includes sensitive data game details that were meant to be under wraps, from unreleased Pokemon designs to upcoming game features. This breach has laid bare Game Freak's closely guarded secrets. If that wasn't enough, the source code for several Pokemon games has also been leaked, opening the door to potential copyright infringement and unauthorized modifications. In the wake of this leak, Game Freak has issued a statement acknowledging the breach and assuring fans and employees that they are taking steps to address the situation. There's also, I did not put it in the document, another leak that talks specifically about some more of the details. This leak also unraveled like a lot of conversations, some weird fanfic about Pokemon and how they impregnate people. And the most upsetting thing is that it's going to destroy the retro market because it also leaked like old Game Boy Advance box designs and everything. Yes, I did say that's the most upsetting thing. I didn't mean it, but I said it. Boys, what do you think about this? Game Freak leaking all their freak,
Lord,
letting it fly, all the Pokemon impregnating women out there.
Lord.
This podcast will probably be copyright struck at some point just for talking about it.
Jesus
What are you going to do?
Christ.
What are you going to do?
Do you guys
Brandon,
ever
how do
see
you feel
that?
about this?
Do you guys ever see that Batman and Joker video that's like, I got a little punny, Batman. You know what I'm gonna do with this little punny? No, Joker, it's an animal. I'm gonna have sex with this little punny, Batman. Dave, I'll send it to you after the show. It is the funniest. He's like, no, Joker, it's an animal. And the Joker's like, there's no laws against. They're not animals. There's no laws, Batman. I thought of that as soon
That's
as
officially
I
from WB though, too, right? They're from DC.
I thought of that video the second that I saw about this weird fanfic of this Pokemon impregnating a woman. Man, this is fucking weird.
By the way, it's not even really fanfic. It's developer fic.
That's what I'm saying is like the weirdest part about it. So, like even if fanfic is weird to begin with, but the fact that it's somebody that's internal in the team having this makes it substantial. Like I feel like that's the entire bit. If someone else had it, it'd just be cringe. But this is like beyond cringe. It's just like very strange. But yeah, poor Game Freak. This kind of sucks. They are a very tight-lipped company and a very secretive company and a very guarding of their IP company, as they always have been. So the fact that something like this kind of was out in the open is bad for them, incredibly bad for all the employees, but kind of unprecedented as far as leaks go. I mean, we keep seeing more and more leaks every single year from these massive companies that are kind of quiet. So how something like this could happen really makes you wonder why every company that is large doesn't see something like this happening, whether it's Wolverine, whether it's this, and like really, really, really make sure that their employees' shit is encrypted and that they're not,
Well, this was a phishing scam from what I understand, too.
I know. And,
That's the
just
cra- yeah.
every office job you ever work with, they have all these prevention things. And there is stuff that can happen, right? Like, it's just people make mistakes. But, yeah, you just got to keep hammering down on your team and have them be safe, because these phishing things are getting complex. And for it to happen to a company like this is really the most interesting part, is that they're so tight-lipped. So all of this information being out is tantalizing for that reason, because it's not something that would ever see the light of day and probably would get deleted before anybody else in the public knew about it. So
Yeah, it's particularly, you're talking about how tight-lipped they are. The only instance of this that was almost as shocking as a Pokemon or as Game Freak or Nintendo having leaks was when Rockstar had the leaks with GTA 6, because you never see anything leak from Rockstar. and you never see anything leak from Game Freak either. Dave, as the defender of Nintendo, who saw his previous favorite company, Ubisoft, going down to hill and decided to switch grifts in the middle to Pokemon, how do you can you defend this?
Well, just to echo what
Not
Brandon
defend it. Just what do you think?
yeah, first off, it's really disturbing to see this sort of thing happen where a bunch of employees have their personal information get leaked. I couldn't imagine if I got an email from HR saying, "Hey, by the way, your information is out on the dark web there, and your identity might have been stolen. So we're really sorry." Because like you can't change your SIN number, you can't change your name and that kind of stuff. So it's like I can change your password, but that kind of stuff is, I don't know, it's really messed up. Like as Dwight said, identity theft is not a joke, Jim. So I guess just thoughts and prayers first with like there are legitimate victims here, and that really sucks. But on the lighter side, I like to think that Matchomp is like the Johnny Sins of the Pokemon world.
Jesus
100%,
Christ, bro.
I'm gonna go through and start attaching different Pokemon to different adult film stars. But yeah, it is weird to me though that someone I don't know if Game Freak was targeted or if these phishing scams just went out to a bunch of different people and they're like, let's see which big company clicks this link. But it's weird to me because I feel like Game Freak, with the exception of Pokemon Go, has been releasing the same Pokemon game for like 10 years. So other than like seeing the unreleased stuff, the upcoming stuff, like I don't feel like there's a lot to see there. Whereas with Rockstar, like they got some secrets and you want to see it. But in any case, like we know how vigilant Nintendo is with IP protection and copyright infringement and that kind of stuff. So they and their army of lawyers are gonna have their eyes peeled for any of this source code stuff resurfacing somewhere. But in any case, just to circle back, it really sucks to the employees, and I hope nothing serious kind of comes of this for them.
Yeah. A few years back, there was a list of media. All of their information was leaked on an E3 document, and Dustin and I think just Dustin and I were on that list. Brandon, I don't think you were there, but and we're nobody, right? Like it didn't matter. Well, Dustin would be somebody now, or he is somebody now, but at the time we were just nobodies, and nobody cared to do anything with our information. The weirdest thing that happened is I started getting, I don't know if Dustin did, I never asked him about it. I started getting Christmas cards from European video game companies who thought they should just add everyone on that list. And since they had my home address, they just started sending Christmas. So I've been getting a Christmas card from, I don't even know their name. Some company I've never heard of. They must make mobile games or something.
So there you go. Maybe leaks of personal data is a good thing. You'll get Christmas cards from the Eastern Bloc.
Was it you, Dave, that was?
The funniest thing about it is like this company that I've never talked about or even heard of, they send me a Christmas card every year, and it comes from some other country. I think it's Lithuania or something, and it always has the sticker on the front that tells how much it costs to send it. It's always got like stickers of their characters inside, which are just grotesque looking. But the postage on it always says it's like $12 US to send it to me. Jeez. I'm like, these guys are forking over $12 to send some random guy they found on an E3 press list in 2019 a Christmas card that has never talked about their games. It's very bizarre. And I don't even remember their name. So, no. Chat says, I'm going to get so many Christmas cards with the Social Security number leak earlier this summer. Yeah, I don't think you should hope for that. But, you could hope for that and only that. But it'll be interesting. Yeah, so hopefully, like Dave said, hopefully nobody gets hurt in any way, financially or physically or anything else. But otherwise, there's definitely going to be once people actually pour through that information, I think there'll be some interesting stuff. You're right about them making the same game over and over again. But I just imagine, like, when they come out with the list of all the new Pokemon in the next generation or whatever, some groups of people are very interested in that. So to have all that information in advance, and I imagine it's not going to make, there's lots of assets in there and stuff. I imagine it's not going to make protecting their IP any easier. Good. Nintendo. No, I'm just, sorry. I didn't mean it.
I'd
Let's
like
talk
to see
about
that box art, though. That'd be cool. Like the old, you said there was like unreleased GBA stuff? box
It's not
art?
unreleased. It's like have you ever gotten like print documents? Like it's like okay, we're gonna or even seen them. Like we're gonna print this box, and here's the exact way it should be laid out. And they basically they cut the cardboard to a specific size
Oh, like the
and
bleed
then print
print.
on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, like with all the bleed lines and everything. It's
Yeah.
basically that. So if you wanted to, not that you couldn't have disassembled a box in the past and photocopied it and figured it out, but now they'll be able to just say like, okay, we know this is on number X cardboard, and here's the exact like colors and bleed lines and everything. It'll be the most convincing fakes out there, which will have come directly from Nintendo. So you get a box, somebody makes a box, beats it up a little bit, and then sells it as a near mint box that it's totally not legit. Again, I don't know
With
if
the
that
ROM card,
with a ROM card in it, which are already very bad. They're everywhere right now. So let's talk about Death Note, or really a Death Note game. This comes from Gamatsu, and it says the Taiwan Digital Game Rating Committee has rated an unannounced Death Note game for PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. It's being published by Bandai Namco. The title in the rating can be directly translated from traditional Chinese as Death Note Shadow Mission, but it is likely the official English title will be Death Note Killer Within, as the name was trademarked on June 12th in Europe and Japan and June 20th in the United States. And then they did confirm that it would be called Death Note Killer Within. There's not really a lot to talk about this because we don't even know what type of game it would be, but Brandon, you and I have both seen Death Note, so I'll wait. Dave, do you have anything else to say about this first before?
No, I mean, I did a little research, and it looks like all like this isn't the first time that Death Note has had a video game, but all the ones that have been released are all stranded on the DS,
Yep.
and they seem to be weird strategy games. So I think in order for this to be interesting to me, then I'd hope it would be kind of something in more of a mass appeal genre, like action adventure. I don't know what it could be, but yeah, you guys are the Death Note fans, so please.
Yeah.
Brandon, without excuse me, without getting into big spoilers for the show for
Sure.
the Death Note show,
Sure.
we can talk about the very basic premise because it's like in the first episode.
Sure.
But what kind of game do you think this is going to be?
That's-
It seems like it'd be hard to make Death Note into a video game.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I actually was unaware that there was any Death Note games at all out there. So the fact that someone would try to make one and have it be a strategy game actually loosely makes sense to how the anime works. But in reality, it doesn't. Like, having known the show many times over, it doesn't translate incredibly well. Maybe like an Among Us type game. like I don't know. That's what I don't know what it could possibly be. I saw someone on Twitter. I can't really take credit for this, but they're like, what are you just gonna have to dox the other players the entire time, or like how how is this game gonna work? Like, I don't. Not that I'm against it. I mean, I love the idea. I love the lore of the game. I love the world. I love the Shinigami. Like, I think there's definitely some cool stuff you could do there. But I mean, maybe the angle is to have it be in the Death Note universe, but have it not deal with Light or L at all. Maybe just like the general premise of the anime, instead of just the singular story that we see through the show. Because it's even said in the show, like, there's a lot of Death Notes, right? And even the people that, the Shinigami that Ryuk that drops the Death Note has done this many times before. So, like, and that's shit that you learn, like, within the first couple episodes. Like, I'm not really spoiling it for anybody, but yeah, so I don't know. I don't know that it needs to follow the story of Light Yagami. I guess that would be cool, being a fan of Light and being a fan of other characters in the show, but it might be cool to kind of divert from that. But as far as the type of game, I don't know about you, but I don't think it translates very well unless I'm just like missing something. I don't know if you get what I mean when I say like Among Us or something like that, between like the whole.
I
like,
understand that. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But
Alex
visual
in chat
novel.
says the visual novel, and I don't. Maybe I think that might even make sense for it, but I just hope not because I actually want to play it, and I don't want to play a visual novel. So,
dude, I gotta stop you, Derrico. William Dafoe was great in that. Is he talking about the live action?
well, he's saying Willem. It's Willem, by the way. It's not William. His name is not William Dafoe. It's Willem. Okay.
That too.
I don't know why his parents did that, but they did.
I'm sorry,
and
Mr.
he
Defoe.
must be talking about the
Yeah.
live action. yeah.
Honestly, that's disgusting. I wish that piece of media was erased from existence.
It's got one of the most crazy scenes in it, though. One of the most crazy scenes in media history, in my opinion. When he surprises them in the library.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
it's cringe.
That's all I'll get to. Was he in the live action?
I think he was Ryuk.
He was.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that.
disgusting.
Yeah. I don't we don't really have anything to say about this. Okay, so they leaked that there's going to be a game, but I am just curious to see what it'll be. Here's the thing though. It doesn't matter what kind of game it is, and it doesn't matter if it's good. It will help if it's good,
Right.
but it doesn't matter because people will buy it. And that's what's important to Bandai Namco with this game, I think.
Right.
Is that it'll make money because it's Death Note. It's anime at all, and then on top of
Right.
it, it's Death Note.
Dude, I want to play as Misa.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Ben, but I think you owe Brandon an apology because it turns out Willem's first name is actually William,
But he doesn't go by that.
but it's William James Willem Dafoe.
Thank you.
I looked it
Okay.
up because I was like, is he actually like Wilhelm and he wanted to like Hollywoodize his name somehow? But no, Willem is either a middle name or a nickname or something. But
All right, here's the thing, Dave.
I triggered Ben.
And here's the thing, Dave and Brandon. I will issue Brandon an apology if these things are true. Brandon, if this thing is true, Brandon knew that
Of course.
and not just thought. No, he has to be honest about it. I will not issue the apology. Did you know that Willem Dafoe's real name is William? Real first name is William.
Yeah, Billy.
No,
he lived on his street.
Billy Defoe.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
that's my boy. He played the lighthouse.
No apology is issued.
He played the lighthouse.
So many people call him William Dafoe, and I don't even care about him that much. I'm just like, that's not his name. His name is
He's
not
the Greek-
Will. I mean,
The Green Goblin, right?
and I would assume that most people do not know his legal first name is William.
Except
And
for me.
also, why name him William and still put Willem in his name?
The best part is it's William James, so technically it's Billy Jim Dafoe.
Dude, Billy Jim Defoe, man. How about that?
Edward Walton does point out, he said it's wild that this wasn't one of the titles that got canceled by Bandai. And I didn't put that in the news because I didn't really care. But Bandai just canceled a few, I think a Naruto game and a One Piece game or something like that.
Naruto?
So, yeah.
Brother, what is
This
that?
one's probably a lot further along if it's getting rated at this point, though.
Naruto?
Naruto, I said it because I hate it. I said it the way I said it.
Disgusting. Disgusting.
Let's talk about the next thing, which I think Dave has already decided is going to be the name of the show. I like that, by the way. That title you put down
That
there.
was just a suggestion, but thank you.
I like it. I think that's going to be the name. GamesIndustry.biz reports that the head of Xbox Game Studios, Alan Hartman, will retire from the company at the end of November, with Rare boss Craig Duncan taking over. Hartman is best known for leading and forming Turn 10 in 2005, the studio behind the Forza franchise. He stepped up to lead the Xbox Game Studios last year. He also worked on hit Microsoft franchises including Age of Empires and Fable during his 36-year-old video game career. Taking his place is Rare studio boss Craig Duncan. Duncan's led Rare for the best part of 14 years, overseeing the studio's Connect titles and the launch of its live service hit Sea of Thieves, which has had more than 40 million players since it launched in 2018. In September, he attended the 2024 GamesIndustry.biz Best Places to Work Awards, where Rare picked up the 3 awards. Prior to Rare, he held multiple developmental leadership roles at the likes of Sumo Digital, etc., etc. His new role encompasses Xbox teams including Halo Studios, Coalition, Turn 10, all of them. Okay, basically, all of them. And he'll report directly to Matt Booty. Replacing Duncan at Rare is Joe Neate and Jim Horth. They'll co-lead the studio, etc., etc. I don't know that there's a lot to talk about here, except for the fact that, like, Alan Hartman has been around for a very long time, and definitely a lot of his DNA is on Xbox. Craig Duncan...
Whoa, pause.
Yeah, I said what I said.
What do you... All right.
I said what I said. I don't know that Craig Duncan, he's obviously respected and he's done good work, but I don't know if he's the guy to take the game studios home, etc. But I did see a meme earlier today, some kind of or a tweet or something like that. I don't know everything's a meme. I don't know. It was like guy who hasn't shipped a game in 6 years gets promotion to being the guy who doesn't need to ship any games or something like that. But I don't know, guys. Do you have anything to say about this? Or
I do. My first thought was cool. This is, he was the studio lead at Rare for over 10 years. So I mean, why not? But when I looked at his resume, his LinkedIn profile specifically, like he's got a lot of experience in the racing genre, and then he's got over 10 years at Rare from 2011 to present. So in that time span, we have the Kinect games, Sea of Thieves, and then unreleased we have Everwild and Fable. So
not Fable.
Is it just Everwild?
Yeah, that's Playground working on Fable.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't know. I guess if I was to compare, his equivalent at Sony would be Herman Hulst, and right? Is that a fair comment?
Yeah.
I really liked the Herman Hulst hiring. I think more because just subjectively, I just like Herman Hulst and I didn't like Jim Ryan. But when I look at Craig Duncan's resume, it's like he's got a lot of experience in the racing genre with, founding Turn 10, a lot of experience with Codemasters, which pretty much only did racing games. He had a lot of involvement in the Wheelman game when he was with Midway. So it's weird to me that you would have someone head up your game studios who really the majority of their experience comes in one genre. And I'm really feeling like Microsoft with Xbox needs to be kind of picky right now. So this is a weird move to me. But
Dave.
yeah, I don't know who else was in the running for this, but it's a little odd is all.
Yeah. That's one thing I was going to say is that I don't know who else could have been in the running. The other thing I will say is that what he does have some experience with is live service. And not that Xbox doesn't have any experience in live service. And yeah, I don't know who else could have taken this job either, but he's definitely done a good job with a few different games that have had live service aspects. And I wonder if that's an angle here with this hiring of Craig Duncan. Brandon, anything to comment on here?
Yeah, I mean, immediately I don't like the guy because he has 2/3 of my name. So I'm not really quite interested in that. He has both my middle and my last name as both of his names. So
right.
I'm kind of taken back and feel like I might need to fight for my honor, fight for Xbox people everywhere to defend. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You guys kind of said all that needs to be said. I don't know that someone that's kind of, I don't want to say has done nothing. Just because you have experience in the industry, we've been shown many times that people that have done well before don't always continue to do well. And when you haven't really put out things consistently in a long time, it kind of makes me wonder, I don't know. If you stop doing something for a while, are you as good at it? I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm not. Yeah, I agree with you, but at the same time, I assume his job as the lead at Rare is less focused on making new games and more focused on keeping the things running that are already running, being more of an overseer manager type thing. So in that sense, like as long as you can coordinate things, I will say that Sea of Thieves has made a lot of money. I don't know if it's been run the best that it could be, especially in the last 3 years or so. But it's making money, and that is what matters most of the time to executives, and to shareholders.
Thanks to PlayStation, yeah.
It's been you can't deny the fact that Rare and Sea of Thieves, I think it's a nice little microcosm of it, has been resilient, and he's kind of headed up the company through an interesting time. So, and it's similar with Herman Hulst. Like Herman Hulst is Killzone and Horizon and
Concord.
Yeah,
he really pushed for Concord.
Forget about that for a second. But I don't know. Maybe that's enough. And you make a really good point about the live service thing, and maybe looking at it more from a macro level rather than just the games he's worked that are on his resume. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Was Cliffy B not available?
I think Cliffy B probably bowed out of the.
Yeah.
They probably asked him, and he said
He
"Not
canceled the third
interested."
interview. He was just like, you know what?
Yeah,
I withdraw my name from the running.
He needed to do some more stand up or something. Guys, let's talk about something absolutely disgusting. Alarmo. That's all I needed to say, right? For you to just be revolted by it. IGN says, with the gaming world waiting with bated breath for the Nintendo to announce the Switch 2, the company behind Mario has once again surprised its fans with the announcement of a completely unexpected piece of hardware, an interactive alarm clock. I like how they say completely unexpected, and they didn't mention completely unasked for. The Nintendo quotes it as saying, "Ever wish you could wake up in one of the playful worlds from Nintendo? Well, it's time to stop dreaming." The Alarmo is an interactive alarm clock. No, sorry, not the Alarmo. The Nintendo Sound Clock hyphen Alarmo is an interactive alarm clock designed to add some Nintendo charm to your home and daily routine. Alarmo is due out early in 2025 and priced at $100 US, with Nintendo Switch Online members in the US and Canada able to buy it right now. This was 5 days ago. Alarmo features motion sensor technology that responds to your movements, letting you snooze your alarm with motion alone and stop it by getting out of bed. You can pick from 35 scenes inspired by 5 Nintendo titles: Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 3, Pikmin 4, and Ring Fit Adventure. You know, the very classic blockbuster hit, Ring Fit Adventure. Actually, it probably has made a lot of money. Before the alarm, a character from the title you selected waits patiently on the screen. When the alarm begins, gentle sounds unique to the scene you've chosen to play will begin. Then a visitor arrives. After a few seconds, someone or something from the scene you picked will appear. You can then wave your hand or move your body to make the clock quieter. Depending on the title you've chosen, you might also hear coins or other familiar game sounds. Eventually, your visit... This is all important to read because I want to rip on it a lot. Eventually, your visit will end and gentle sounds will play again until your visitor returns. This will repeat a number of times if you stay in bed. If you stay in bed too long, your alarm will get more intense and you'll get a visit from someone more persuasive. Yes, it's Bowser. When you get out of bed, the alarm will stop and you'll be treated to a brief victory fanfare.
Jesus
Guys,
Christ.
there's one thing that this article doesn't mention that Nintendo said, and this does not work. I think the motion part of it doesn't work if you share a bed. So this is an alarm clock for virgins, is what they promoted.
I was
Dave.
thinking children, but
That's not. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. Think about it.
how long
Say
until
most-
one's in your house, Ben?
How long to an Alarmo? I hope never.
Your
Dave.
kids are good. I'm gonna buy your kids one.
Go for it. That's fine.
Dude, I was hoping it would make
Go
me
for it.
angry. Dave,
Put your
sound off.
$100 where your mouth is. $106 in Pennsylvania.
Random Nintendo really creeps me out, and sometimes they just do weird. Remember the Labo thing?
Yeah.
Where, like you just made stuff out of cardboard. What? Why? Like nobody needed that. I don't know if that sold well, but
It
this is
did
another-
not, because it was like 90% off at Walmart the week after it came out, or
Yeah.
the month after it came out. Yeah.
because it was people realized it was cardboard. And yeah, anyways, it's I agree with you, Ben. Nobody asked for this and nobody needs this, but Nintendo could sell this for twice the price and sell out 100 times over because it's Nintendo.
Yep.
There is a promotional video that came with this article, and I urge everybody to watch precisely 20% of this video because it's 5 minutes for some fucking reason. And it's really interesting because the whole motion thing is like basically it starts to play the theme song from whatever you set it to. So it could be Zelda, Splatoon, Mario, and then like if you stop moving, like it'll randomly play like coin noises, and it's supposed to like react to your movements, but really it's just random noises coming at you. So the idea of waking up to like the Song of Storms from Zelda, or the Super Mario theme song, like that's cool, but like all this other random shit that they have going with it just makes it seem even weirder. So yeah, I don't know. It looks really cheaply made too, apart from the screen, which looks pretty high quality, but the rest of it doesn't, which is too bad because it's going to be thrown across most rooms, so it should be built with a little bit higher quality. But this is stupid. Nobody needs this, but they're going to sell out really quickly. So yeah.
Two more things that I was on Summon Sign yesterday, and Brad mentioned to me that one, they're planning on patching in new sounds and scenes as they go. So this alarm clock will get updates. I don't know if they're paid or free, but it'll get updates. And the second thing, I think maybe Maddie mentioned this actually, is that this alarm clock has a cord with it. It does not come with a power brick. So Nintendo, in addition to giving you an alarm clock that will make you have PTSD about some of your favorite game sounds, will also not allow you to turn it on without buying an additional accessory. So I thought that was interesting. Brandon, how many are you going to get?
Ben, I'm gonna get none. I would actually. Yeah,
You're going to buy one for my kids, you said.
but there's two of them, so I got to buy two.
I'm going to clip this out and show it to them. And if you don't get it, they're going to bug you. You know they will bug you about it for years.
No, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Ben, you made a good point about the whole PTSD thing, and it is funny, boys. I don't know if you've ever played a song or like had a specific song that would play as you woke up. Have you guys done that ever?
I've never done the specific song thing, but I've had like my own alarm clock play, and then somebody else I hear in public is using it as a ringtone.
Yeah, so that's the best way to make you, and maybe it's just because I hated my life and I hated waking up in the morning, but that's
No,
the
it's not
best
the shit.
way. That's the best way to make you absolutely despise, at least me, a noise. So if I have to hear, hiya, 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 or like some, like, I wee, you know, wahoo. If I have to hear some shit like that waking up, I might take the alarm clock, smash it, and then instantly go over and snap my switch in half, like in one motion, and then I'll get back in bed. Like I don't get it.
You got to
man.
smash the switch with the alarm clock.
Right?
Maybe
I
this
like-
is the play: is get everybody to smash their switches, so when the Switch 2 comes out, everybody needs one.
Yeah, fair
Don't need
enough.
backwards compatibility then.
They're like, we want you to hate yourself so much that you never buy a product until we put out the next Zelda game. But no, this is stupid, boys. This is incredibly stupid. And this just goes to show that this is my biggest problem with Nintendo, is that there's no sense to it. And this will, you guys said it, it will sell like hotcakes. They don't have to do things that make sense or things that are even good or useful to society or even quality or provide value. They just do things and slap their fucking IP on it. And then, as Ben said, all the virgins come running. And I hate it. I fucking hate it, boys. I fucking hate it. In fact, this alarm clock might be more powerful than the Switch. This alarm clock might be more powerful than the Switch. So that's what makes me mad.
I found the one last blurb here. It says, it's worth noting that Alarmo is only compatible with twin to king-size beds. It should be placed facing the center of the bed, within arm's reach, and no higher than 8 inches above the sleeper, Nintendo said. If there's more than one sleeper in the bed, Nintendo recommends using button mode for the best experience. Are we done talking about Alarmo?
Yeah. I wish we wouldn't have talked about it at all.
Eurogamer says that PlayStation has suddenly pulled Hotline Miami 2 from Australian PS5 owners after realizing country's ratings board denied the game's release a decade ago.
Why bother at this point?
That's most of the story, but it says back in January 2015, the designer of the game told Australian fans to pirate Hotline Miami 2 after its release was blocked. But all of that seemed to have been smoothed over last October when Hotline Miami 1 and 2 got a native release on the PS5 in the country. Hotline Miami 2 was later added to the PlayStation Plus extra catalog too. 12 months on from its PS5 arrival, however, Australian owners of the game on PS5 are suddenly receiving refunds as the ACB has once again stepped in to enforce the board's original ruling. PS5 owners of the game report receiving the following statement. Quote, we have become aware that the product Hotline Miami 2 wrong number has not received a proper rating from the Australian Classification Board and have therefore taken steps to refund customers who have purchased the game. We've issued the refund of the total purchase price for the product back to your original payment method. This may take 30 to 60 days. Yada, yada, yada. We apologize for any inconvenience. Brandon, you said it. Why bother, first of all? And two, how did this go for a whole year? Do they not, like, how? They were like, you can't put it out here. Don't do it. And Sony was like, we're going to do it. We're going to do it anyway.
We're gonna fucking do it.
I don't know. I think it might have been. If they got that rating, I know how the ratings in these systems work. It'll actually tell you there are countries you can't release things in. Like it'll block them out from you even like scheduling the release. So I don't know how Devolver managed to get this through.
So wait. I haven't played the second one yet. I've only played the first one.
Oh, really?
Does anybody know like what the fuck the grounds are that were so different from the first and the second one? Because to my understanding, they're like relatively
Because
similar.
there was this scene depicting sexual violence,
Yeah.
a skippable cutscene. It was one scene. It wasn't the game in general. It's just one piece of it.
Okay.
But it got that. It made it get that rating.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking weird, boys. That's fucking real weird.
Dave, what do you think? What do you think about this?
Kind
Kind of crazy.
I'm-
Kind of crazy that it works like this.
My question is who fucked up? And we've talked quite a bit in the past about Sony's questionable administrative back-end administration controls and processes. So I suspect it's them. I do want to shout out Devolver's response with just the screen cap of all good times come to an end from one of the Hotline games. So that was quintessential Devolver. I love that. But yeah, I mean, it's really the question is like who put this on the storefront knowing that it wasn't allowed there, and did Devolver try to sneak one by and just get it up? Was it an innocent, like, careless mistake from Sony? I think it's probably more the Sony thing where they just, they're like, oh, this game, it's native on PS4. We just got to move it to the PS, make it available on PS5 and all countries. Sure, it's fine, and just didn't bother to check that this game was actually banned in the country, and yeah, it slipped by for a year. So I suspect this is Sony's complacency that made this happen, but it's kind of funny either way, and we got Devolver's response out of it, which was awesome. So
Is this the individual versions, or did they bundle them together?
it was, I read that a couple times and it read like it was a bundle, but I don't think it was a bundle.
I don't think it was, if I remember correctly.
Because
I should look. I have them. I have them both, and they're
It even
PS5
said like
updated.
it made it on through the PS Plus catalog as well, which I believe only would have just been the one game, Hotline Miami 2. So just a really silly oversight, but yeah, I don't. Kind of sucks for gamers like to have something removed from your library or just randomly get a refund like that. Like that's never cool. So I don't know.
It's like when people wanted to keep Concord and they forced them to get a refund for it.
I wonder if Devolver could have like patched out the scene, because as we just mentioned to Brandon, like it was one skippable cutscene. Like how hard would it be to just remove that and be able to have your game, like you've got some press now that could move a couple thousand copies of the game. So I don't know.
They probably, if it was one cutscene, they probably would have, and they cut just that cutscene. If they didn't cut it from all of the regions, which I'm sure they wouldn't have wanted to do that, they would have had to make an entire new listing. Like it's not going to cost you thousands of dollars or anything to do that, but it would certainly be expensive for a game that released a year ago and was already not like a $60 game. So you're probably right. They could have done that, and maybe they will now that this has happened. But
right.
It's funny either way. Hotline Miami 1 and 2, guys, great games. Go play 'em. Boys, it's time to talk about what we've been playing. Brandon, we're going to start with you. And I couldn't help but notice that you could not be bothered to finish writing your second one. It just says Vampire Serve. It didn't even say Survivor. You just said Serve.
Yeah. I kind of gave up. But yeah, I
just typing is like, what does it matter anyway?
What does it matter? Yeah, so I'm almost done with Astrobot. I'm on the very last world. Kind of getting continuing to get like a little frustrated because I'm bad at platformers. I think I kind of mentioned this last week, but yeah, I'm almost done, and I'm really looking to push through. If I'm thinking correctly, aren't the master levels a part of the platinum?
Yeah,
Okay,
because
so
they
we'll
have
see.
bots in them. They each have one bot, and you have to get every bot.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure.
well, we'll see if I end up doing that. I'm sure it'll be like a slow and steady type of thing for me, which is what the whole game's kind of been. So nothing new to say there. I've been playing a lot more Vampire Survivors, like a lot. And the only thing I want to say about it really is that I've spread the good word. I often recommend games to my friends and family, that aren't one of you guys or Dustin. And often it doesn't stick. But I introduced this game to my brother, and my cousin, and they absolutely loved it. We were hanging out one night, while the significant others are doing things, and we literally couch co-opted for 4 straight hours playing Vampire Survivors in one night. Like I shit you not, like it felt like old times. Like the boys were getting into it, and we're like, oh, we need this to do this to this to this. Like I have not felt that kind of couch co-op in a fucking minute. It was so fucking cool, and I was so glad that they were enjoying a game that I also love very much. And to be able to kind of share that was super super cool. So, love Vampire Survivors, man, and the couch co-op. Even though I am sad that you can't play online, I feel like that would be a really awesome addition to the game. There is something very 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 special about sitting next to the person and doing that. So. Yeah, great times, man. Just super duper fun.
Sorry, is Vampire Survivors your first auto shooter that you've played?
I played stuff similar like this, but I would say it's the first one that I have played this extensively. I've
Right.
mostly tried things. I don't know that I've really played them.
You
I
played
don't-
this. This was probably the first because you played it when it came out
Right.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never played Survivors, so I don't know if it's better. But I urge you to try Deep Rock Survivor.
Yeah,
Just 'cause-
I remember how highly you guys talked about it.
Yeah, it's cheap. It's fun, and I don't know if there's even couch co-op, but
And I love
I don't
DRG.
think so. Yeah.
So-
It's got all the charm of DRG and a little more in-depth gameplay than Vampire Survivors, but it's the same basic concept for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, that's about it, boys. I'm looking forward to being done with these couple games, the Astrobot, and I got to get back to Red Dead. I'm kind of running out of time here, so.
Dave, how about you?
as I mentioned off the top, I had a pretty busy week, so I didn't play much, but I did play a decent chunk of Zelda. I'm through like I think the halfway point of the game, which you often get in Zelda games. Like you do the first like 3-4 dungeons, and then like some shit goes down, and then there's like a new set of dungeons that opens up. And one of the dungeons I'm on now, I don't know if this is spoilery, but it's called the Farron Wetlands, and it's sort of like a rainforest type deal with like a bunch of Deku scrubs. And I haven't seen like an area like this in a Zelda game before, and I think it's really cool. It's also cool because all of the Deku scrubs in this area have this addiction to spider webs, which is kind of funny because they're all like fucking tweaked out on cotton candy spider webs, and something similar happened in Tears of the Kingdom with the Gorons all eating the rocks and shit. So yeah, there's actually been a couple scenes in this one area where I've actually laughed out loud. So yeah, I did have one question though, because I haven't played Link's Awakening, which was the previous game in the style. Ben, is it the same map? Like, is it the exact same world, same areas, or is it just the same kind of art style idea?
It's just the same art style. I don't think it's
Okay.
the same map.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. Because considering how much I'm enjoying this fair and wetlands area, I'm really excited to see what the other areas are like. Because Zelda games, you always get like the Zora, the water area, and like the Gorons with the fire shit. But it's cool to see something a little bit different. So yeah, I'm really enjoying, despite the technical issues. I'm still really 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 liking Zelda. So yeah.
Nice. I have played a little bit more Zelda since last week, or since the last time I talked. I think it was last week I talked about it. But I gotta say, maybe this is just me being a snob or a purist or whatever, but like I'm used to playing subpar performance games on the Switch. This one's bad, man. It's making me not want to play it. Like, and if I'm playing it, it's for like 30 minutes. And that's tough for me as a huge Zelda fan who has played almost every single Zelda game ever made to be like, I don't want to play this right now. Because it's not the gameplay. The game is great. I just, it's really hard to stomach. And this is one of the first times since I got my Switch, maybe this is part of it too, that I'm trying to play it more in like TV mode with the dock rather than just playing it in handheld mode all the time, which is what I've always done with my Switch. And it's making it feel worse. I'll switch to the handheld while I'm sitting in front of my TV, just so it feels a little bit less bad. So I like it. I'm enjoying the game. It's just it's rough, man. I'm having a hard time with it because I'm not. You know what? Give me 30 FPS locked. That'd be fine. This is all over the place, and it constantly is. You know, 1 minute it looks amazing, and literally the next second it's like puke city for me.
I was going to ask where you were in the game because I think that was I think that's part of it, but since I started playing it, I've only been playing in handheld. So honestly, I think handheld makes a big difference, but you're right.
Yeah.
It's borderline unacceptable. It is unacceptable for
Yeah,
a
it's
game
definitely
like this.
unacceptable. And I don't understand because it's definitely the same engine as Link's Awakening, and it's the same art style. It's not like it's any incredible graphical upgrade. I imagine it just maybe it has something to do with the mobs you spawn, but even that shouldn't really be that big of a deal because there's always been mobs on the screen. I don't know. It's sad to me because like there's no reason this game should be in this state, in my opinion, and they shouldn't have released it like this. Of course, it's Nintendo and it's Zelda, and they know they're going to sell a bajillion copies, so why not? But I couldn't believe it. I heard of people complaining about it, but it was people that like I love, like Dustin, but I also know he's like I'm very sensitive to stuff like this. He's way more sensitive. And I was like, oh, it's just Dustin. And then I played it. I was like, oh my god, like it was insane. So yeah. Other than that, I played like I don't really have a lot to say about it other than to talk about the game itself. I played a little bit of Off the Grid. It's the new BR. It somehow works on the blockchain or with the blockchain or something like that. I don't give a shit about that. I don't care. It didn't seem to be stealing any of my personal information, so it was fine. But it's a BR. They don't have the BR mode out quite yet. That's more of an extraction mode. And the whole gist is you find parts and upgrade your mech, the person you are, the character you play as. That was a cool creative thing that I hadn't seen, but it was running. It's in beta or early access or something like that, or maybe it is actually released. But I played it the day it came out, and only played for like an hour and a half because the guys I was playing with, it was running not great on my computer. A lot of really stuttery and hard to maneuver. But the guys I was playing with had a really tough time. So I didn't play for very long, but it's a cool concept. I liked extraction shooters. I like battle royales. I'm sure I'll hop back in at some point. Hopefully the performance gets a little bit better. But I think it's a cool concept, and I want to check it out further. But the thing, boys, that has been consuming the majority of my time this week is TCG Card Shop Simulator. Now, you guys know I'm in my Sims. Not the game The Sims, but my simulators. I enjoy them. I like this kind of garbage for some reason. It's very soothing to my smooth brain, I guess. But this game is more addictive and better done than most of the other sim games out there. I've played, like Gas Station Simulator, Supermarket Simulator, all the other janky, you run a store, you run a business kind of simulators. But this one, for whatever reason, is just really scratching a specific itch. So the idea is you have a card shop. You're a business owner. As you grow, you can expand the card shop, hire employees to do things for you, etc. But the real gist is that you're selling these Tetramon, I think it is, Tetramon cards, and people come in and they buy them, or you can buy the packs and then open them and get. You can try to fill out your own collection, or you can pull out really, expensive singles and sell the singles individually as well. And that's the biggest thing that keeps the loop going, is that like you're trying to build out this collection. Throughout it, you can also stock, board games, you can stock plushies, you can stock whatever else, and people will buy those as well. But the biggest driver is the trading cards. You also have tables that you set up, run tournaments for people to come in and play games at your store, and you of course charge them money per hour or whatever it is to be able to do that. And a lot of those people are stinky, so you have aerosol spray that you can actually spray on the stinky people to make sure you don't get bad reviews for having a stinky place. And so, man, it's addicting. It's really interesting. You get XP for every time you open a pack or every time somebody buys something from you. And as you get, more and more well known and your XP goes up higher, your level goes up higher, you can buy extra stuff. So it's really fun. I'm having a good time with it. It's kind of like crack. I have installed a couple mods. You like how I just threw in there like it's kind of like crack? It didn't even faze me. All right. I threw on a couple mods. One is to turn on the light switch at a certain time of day, which I have set to turn on whenever it gets dark. And the other is one that lets you open cards a little faster because it's really slow to open the cards. So I just did that. There's a lot of other improvements or changes. You can get ones that modify the entire economy and everything, but I didn't want to break the game. I just wanted to do a couple little nice quality of life things that honestly I'd be surprised if don't happen naturally in the course of the game's development. I think it is technically in early access. It's like $13 or something, but it is like hugely positive on Steam. Many sales. I think yesterday at one point there were something like 60,000 people playing concurrently, something insane like that. But it's bananas. It really is, and it's so much fun getting a card that is worth like $4,000 for some reason. I don't know. Oh, the one other thing that makes it interesting too is that the price of items, like the market price of everything, changes day to day. And sometimes things you do in your store can influence how the market reacts. So you have to also kind of be constantly monitoring how much you have stuff for sale, make sure you're not selling it for too cheap or too much to make sure customers don't get ticked at you. It's a wild ride.
Damn.
I heavily recommend you try it if you don't really enjoy playing other games or free time. The last thing that I've played only about 2 hours of, this was actually gifted to me by a friend who I won't say who it is because I don't know if they want me to. But they got an extra code for it and they gave it to me. Metaphor Rifantasio. So far,
Nice.
very good, very beautiful, very Persona, obviously. But I've only got like 2 hours into it at most. I've just barely gotten into the actual gameplay of the game, and I'm enjoying it, but I don't have much to say about it. So I anticipate I'll have more to say next week, but I just wanted to throw it out there that I've been checking it out. And that's it. That's all I've been
Hell
playing.
yeah.
That's all we've been playing.
Hey,
Boys, you ready to get out of here?
yes, sir.
Don't forget, next week, 8 o'clock on Tuesday the 22nd, 8 p.m. Eastern, we'll be doing the show live for episode 300 with a special guest.
Or two.
At least one, maybe two. And you can also support us on patreon.com/handsomephantom for as little as $1 a month. You can also join our Discord, handsomephantom.com/Discord. I'm about to burp, guys. Sorry. Okay. I hope you guys have a good night. We'll stick around for just a couple seconds here and then get on out of here. Bye.
Bye.
Dave came up with the title A Rare Move. I like it. What do you think?
Yeah, it works for me, man.
Cool.
Is Poot
That was
okay
my-
with it?
Realized my closet was open the whole time.
You okay with it?
Yeah. He normally
I haven't asked him.
comes up with our show titles, so he's probably got.
Radic,
I told my
no,
wife
it was not.
about
It was
the
not.
shaking things up last week. She laughed so hard.
Shaking things up.
Remember, there was the Saudi fun story that we talked about, and we were gonna make the title of the show "Shaking Things Up."
Yeah. Yeah. Sheeking things up or something like that,
Shaking,
wasn't
yeah,
it?
shaking,
Yeah,
shaking.
shaking. Yeah. Yeah, we missed an opportunity. Too bad, so sad. All right, boys. Anything else?
Oh, dude.
Culinary edition episode. JJL.
I'll fill you in later. We should probably just end stream right there. It's not worth